Welcome to a new week. Welcome to a new episode of the Mr. Sitter podcast. It's me, Anthony Locascio. Thank you for being with me for what is drawing to the final closing stretch of the group stage. I can't wait till I can sleep a little bit more, which is coming in hot. But we had some great games to cover this morning and last night. So we'll crack into that in a little bit. But before we do, because it's Monday and it's not the weekend, I'm gonna chew your ear off about some shit that's not the matches that happened last night. Because all of this stuff is important. It's taken up mental real estate for me, and I think given the current housing, issues in Australia at least, in terms of the real estate market, you should share some of the real estate that I've got floating around in my head. Everybody's favorite prima donna drama queen, Cristiano Ronaldo, has reportedly been offered a multi-million-dollar 3-year contract by Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr. He's not going to take it. This is not a prediction. This is a spoiler. He's not going to take it because it's not about money for him. He gets more on endorsement deals than any club could offer him right now. I'm pretty sure he gets more from like the perfume that he put out than what the Saudi club are offering him. It's not about the money for him. It is about he wants to cement this legacy as the guy who was 40 and was still scoring, 15, 20 goals a season in one of the top European leagues, and also, a half dozen in the Champions League. And unfortunately, none of the clubs that, render that criteria are going to pick him up. Maybe Sporting Lisbon. That's the only one that I will say the jury's still out on whether they'll sign him. None of the Premier League clubs, no club in Serie A, no Bundesliga club. I forget about it. So Ronaldo to retire is looking like it's a hot bet. After the World Cup, I'm still sticking behind that. Speaking of this World Cup, which is the whole purpose of this podcast, so that kind of leaves my segue not being very tight or strong. Whatever, we move on. There was a video that went viral overnight of a Saudi Arabian fan celebrating after Robert Lewandowski scored and then pulling his Saudi Arabia jersey off to reveal a Poland jersey. Now, I can't remember if we spoke about this on any of the previous podcasts. I'm very tired. I'm basically bordering on Alzheimer's syndrome at the moment. So the Qataris have paid a bunch of Pakistanis like $10 a day, housing and 3 meals to basically just like put on the jerseys of all the respective teams and pretend to be fans. And this guy was clearly one of them. And I know that we haven't really chatted about the yuckiness of this World Cup for a few episodes, and frankly, I haven't really wanted to. I've wanted to focus on the football, mostly because I'm too tired to be properly angry at the moment. But this just kind of is super emblematic of how manufactured the sentiment, at least, around this whole World Cup is. You remember like in the first game, once the Qataris had gone down 2-0. The stadium was like a third full by the 60th minute. It's just not cool. It's not a cool World Cup in that sense. That the fans really add an extra element, and there's like a real manufactured just energy to it, and this goes to prove that, even though it was a really, really funny video and the guy was really fat, so it took him a while to get the Saudi Arabia jersey off. My video from last week that went pretty decently on the old TikTok, at least. We were sitting on about 160,000 views. The one that I ranted about the Socceroos, people have gone to the liberty 4 days later after the Socceroos won of revisiting my video and writing things like, "This aged well," and "I hope you didn't celebrate when Duke scored, you fucking idiot." I don't know if you can become an adult and have subtext explained to you, but clearly in the video, like I'm of course I celebrated when Duke scored. I'm a Socceroos fan. That was the point. That was the point of the video. That's why I made it. So you're wrong. and don't comment on things on the internet that you don't like and be mean, no matter who you are, because that's fucked. And I didn't realize how toxic football fandom on the internet is, because I've never really put football content up, other than in the last 2 months. And it's worse than stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy, they're at least like, you're not funny, and you're like, well, I've put up a video where there's evidence of people laughing in the room, so I'm cool, I'm secure, even though it hurts, a little bit. But this is like this is totally stupid, because my opinion doesn't mean anything. I'm not a former player. I'm just a guy making stuff, and if you don't agree with me, that's cool. But what needs to be understood, especially with some of the the roast videos that I'm doing, I've done a roast of Chelsea video, and I'm wearing a Chelsea jersey, and people are responding seriously. So basically, the conclusion of this little rant is that people on the idiot are fuckheads, and I hate you. And like and subscribe to this podcast because I need you. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them, and I'm sick of a lot of things in this tournament. That's inevitable with a long tournament. Where you watch a lot of games, you get sick of a lot of the stuff. I'm sick of the trademark, the promo that comes up. The dung dung dung. You know what it is. I'm sick of that sound. Can't handle it anymore. I'm sick of that "We Belong" song that SBS is like. It's like the theme of SBS On Demand. I'm sick of so many of the ads. I mean, the balls on Hyundai to purchase advertising space in between the two starting lineups being announced. Like you'll have the game, and you'll have Morocco, and here's the starting lineup for Morocco, and then you'll have the Hyundai ad, and then you'll have the starting lineup for Belgium. I've never experienced this in my life. That's infuriating, and it's fucked. And even though that Hyundai ad is pretty cool, it's about like the creator of Hyundai and the story, and the car kind of evolves as he drives it, and the guy's like, "Whoa, who says you can't change the world? Have you tried?" And I'm like, you know what? I haven't tried. I should try. So that's a cool ad. One ad that I've been racking my brain to try and figure out what the fuck it means is they have Andrea Pirlo, football legend, and soccer legend, actually, is what they say. They have Andrea Pirlo looking like he's about to play football, but then the camera pans out, and then it's him going for a boogie board or playing golf or doing something. And it's like, I'm not playing football. There's more to Qatar than just soccer. And it says no soccer, no stress. And it has visit Qatar. And I've been trying. I honestly, once I figured it out, I considered myself rather dumb for not having worked it out. Obviously, they're trying to say that once the World Cup is over, please don't stop visiting Qatar, guys. Please come here. There's more to us than just housing this World Cup, which is kind of desperate and weak. And I hate that they sucked one of my all-time heroes into this. But I imagine they paid him a fuckload, which he's probably not getting paid at the Turkish club that he's coaching, which are coming 17th right now. So make your money how you got to make your money, bro. The only thing that I'm more sick of than the Pirlo ad and the Hyundai ad and the dung 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 is having to see Craig Foster's ankles every morning. I don't know. I'm generally not a big fan of the. I'm sure he's wearing ankle socks, but I'm generally not a big fan of having to see men's ankles when they wear these shoes with these pants and these socks. Much less Craig Foster. You played for the Socceroos, man. You should be used to your ankles not getting ventilation, and somebody's got to tell him to get some fucking socks, because if I have to look at his ankles any longer, I might have to get my knowledge from somebody else. Boz might become my new go-to guy when it comes to these broadcasts, and that's going to be a sad day for everybody. So if anybody's got a direct line to Craig Foster, you tell him, hey, Lukash will buy you some socks. Get them on. Speaking of getting it on, Let's get into the matches, guys. I've rambled for 10 minutes here, and you've heard nothing about the games, so let's do it. Japan, Costa Rica, possibly the most upsetting game of football that I've seen in this tournament. It ended 1-0 to Costa Rica, which is a surprise to a lot of people given the display that they had against Spain, but you knew that there was no way that Costa Rica were going to be as bad as they were against Spain. They were miserly, they defended well. they were actually in that match against Spain, the first team in the World Cup to not register a shot on target since 1990. That team in 1990 was Costa Rica. So there's just something inherent about this country that just lends to catenaccio, I guess, is what they want to do, but without the counterattack, without the trying to win level of it. Japan have got a glaring weakness as I dare say a race of people, but I would be more accurate in saying as a football factory, because they are very, very good and have historically been very, very good at producing nimble, agile, skillful players that are good at operating in tight spaces, can wriggle their way out of trouble, good passing, and they're quick. But they are lacking in two crucial departments, both of which reared their ugly head in this match, and I think they would have been far better for it had they had a strong, maybe not like tall, but just stocky midfielder, like a midfield presence, a powerful midfield presence that could hang on to the ball and distribute, because anytime the Costa Ricans pushed them around, like they had to move the ball so quickly out to the wings and to the forwards because the midfielders were getting pushed around because they were so small. And similarly, if they had a big, tall, strong number 9, then they would have beaten Costa Rica today, because the tactics were basically the same against Germany, except they didn't quite have the shell shock factor that they did against Germany. It was like we've got all these quick, skillful players, and we've got a bunch of them on the bench too that we're going to introduce for a bit of dynamism if things aren't working. And they did, and it worked to a sort of decent degree. Mitoma on the left wing, what a fucking player, man. He will be at Brighton for like a season and a half moving forward, and then I can see him being like a Chelsea or I mean, it's going to be Chelsea, right? Because they just shell Brighton, but it could be Arsenal. I can see him going to a top team. He is excellent. Came off the bench, did really, really well. But Japan overall were naive. They were ineffective. They seemed to think that it would only be a matter of time before they beat Costa Rica, and Costa Rica rode their luck. They scored a goal against the run of play. It deflected, and the keeper got a hand to it. The keeper should have done much, much better. I've been impressed by Japan's goalkeeper, but this was not a good moment. And then I finally got to find out who the commentary team that I hate is. So I like one of them, I hate the other one. It's John Roeder. He was the one that's yelled out Andre Ayew when the other Ghanaian striker scored, and he said some other shit. And his broadcast partner is not Alex Scott. The one I really, really like is Casey Stoner. I'm sorry for mixing them up, but in my defense, they sound exactly the same. John Roeder, he's just not had a match that he's commentated on in this tournament without saying something patently fucking wrong or completely stupid. In this one, we had the former. Right after Costa Rica scored, he said, Japan have never won a match at the World Cup after going 1-0 down. Bro, it happened in literally the last game that they played. What happened to your brain in that moment, you fucking idiot? Somebody give me this guy's job. He's terrible. And that punctuated my infuriation at this game, because as you guys know, I've chosen Japan as them and Serbia, my favorite two teams, with probably Morocco, Ecuador just behind them, and I predicted them to go through, and it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do so now. And Costa Rica are not a team that are exciting or enlightening in any way, and getting behind them is difficult. And my prediction that Japan will come second behind Germany literally cannot come to pass now. So I'm angry and I'm upset. But, we move on. That group would be tied up with the final games. The gravity and the stakes of the final games being decided later, because that's the final game. Next up, we had Morocco versus Belgium. Before this game, Kevin De Bruyne was asked if he thinks Belgium can win the World Cup, and he straight up said, no way, we're too old. Little did anybody know how accurate he was, because, they lost 2-0 here to Morocco, and they looked really old. And a lot of the commentators and the pundits were like, this is a big upset. It's not a fucking big upset, guys. I told you guys that Morocco would be the best team in the tournament from Africa before the World Cup. And that's not me being like, I'm the best. Because the form guide and the players that they have would indicate that, not to mention the group that they're in. They're in a group with an aging Croatia and an aging Belgium. They're in a group with players that have not been in form for a very long time. They're in form. It's not an upset. You saw them against Croatia. They were really good. They were good defensively. They were good offensively. And they capitalized on Courtois showing himself to be human. He was terrible off set pieces here. Ziyech did kind of score a goal that was disallowed because Seiss, the captain, was deemed to be in an offside position and interfering with play. But, he didn't learn his lesson. Sabiri scored from a free kick a little bit later on. And, yeah, Morocco were just much, much better. Fully worthy of the victory here. And, I'm happy because I'm right. I'm happy because I'm right. Morocco I like a lot. I like their national anthem. Their national anthem is really cool. It sounds so evil. It's like it sounds like the theme music for a villain in a movie. It's like when Jafar arrives, the Moroccan national anthem plays. I don't know if Jafar was supposed to be Moroccan, but Disney, answer me. Belgium were not good, and they desperately need Romelu Lukaku. He was on the bench. I think they might have to risk him against Croatia, and if they do, I think they'll win. That's a spoiler for what we're going to talk about later. In the previewing the final matches in this group, they need to win. And I couldn't help but feel in this match that just tactically, Martinez had no answers. And even though Belgium came third in the previous World Cup, which is an astonishing, remarkable achievement for a nation of their population and their footballing history generally, I can't help but feel like generally under Martinez, they have been wasted. I can't help but feel like if they had a real primetime coach, had they appointed Louis van Gaal, for example, who knows what we'd be talking about now. I still think Belgium will make it through this group. Unfortunately, even though Croatia played magnificently against Canada, football is a cruel mistress, and I mean, one of these two teams is going out because Morocco are going to get a result against Canada 100%. Speaking of Canada, the next match was Croatia-Canada. The Canada coach, who, fun fact, when he was a teenager, he got in big trouble and arrested because he came onto a plane and said that he had a bomb as a joke. So he's a bit of a fuckwit to his core. Did pretty well with Canada. He went to a World Cup as New Zealand coach for the women's. So he's got football pedigree, this guy. And famously, he came out and said, "We are going to F Croatia." He didn't say we're going to fuck them. So we're going to F Croatia. Very polite Englishman. As Kramaric said after the match, we saw who really got effed because Croatia fucked them 4-1. Canada drastically overrated. I said it after the Belgium game. Belgium's slowness and oldness made Canada look really good. They've got some good players, but overall they are not a good team. They scored the quickest goal ever through Alphonso Davies, and then they were destroyed by Croatia, who were really good. Their midfield is excellent, and Kramaric turned up to the party to score a brace, which he doesn't always do. But they were able to rely on him today against a pretty average Canada defense. And Canada have been the victims of possibly the biggest curse of Drake ever, and rightly so. He is Canadian. That's what happens. The Drake effect, for those that don't know, is that Drake will wear a jersey of a team. He has absolutely no loyalty. You've seen him in a million different Premier League jerseys. He's worn a Juve jersey, national team jerseys, and that team will invariably lose in the immediate aftermath of Drake wearing the jersey. Drake not only is from Canada, he not only met up with Alphonso Davies before the tournament, where he's not only been pictured wearing the Canadian national team jersey, but the Canada team actually come out to start it from the bottom. Now we're here. They're back at the bottom now. Canada, the second team eliminated from the World Cup. And ciao, boys. The final round, we'll see Morocco beat Canada because Canada should be demoralized, and I don't think they have the quality to stand up to an informed Hakim Ziyech, Ashraf Hakimi, and supporting cast. Belgium-Croatia will be a super duper interesting game. I'm backing Belgium to win. I think they will play Lukaku. They'll be angry after this result. Croatia will not be able to replicate this attacking display against Courtois, who will be furious because he considers himself the best goalkeeper in the world. I also consider him the best goalkeeper in the world, and he's not going to fuck around again and be beaten by the likes of Kramaric. So I still see it as Belgium and Morocco going through together, but I think Morocco are going to top this group. Very cool stuff. Finally, the most anticipated game of the round, probably the biggest match in terms of international pedigree that we have seen so far in the World Cup. It is, of course, Spain-Germany. It ended 1-1, which was a totally fair result. Germany were pressing like crazy in the first half, even though Costa Rica defeating Japan meant that even if they lost, they weren't eliminated, which kind of sapped a little bit of the drama from it. You saw Germany really going for it. They pressed like mad. Rudiger scored a goal that was ruled out in the first half. And it was one of these rare games in this particular World Cup where the first half was super duper entertaining to watch. I enjoyed it. The second half kind of lagged. It desperately needed a goal. And it got it through. Alvaro Morata. Germany deserved to be eliminated. Yep, I'm wearing a Germany jersey, but I'm saying they deserve to be eliminated. It's just because it's topical. I don't like Germany. It's just because it's topical. I don't like Germany. Germany deserved to be eliminated purely by letting Alvaro Morata score against them. How dare you? Morata's a super sub, works really, really well for Spain. His movement, his sharpness, and his finishing are really, really good. Spain totally nullified Gundogan in the second half, which led to Germany being a little bit toothless. But they made some subs, and after they went 1-0 down, Germany really, really turned it on. There was a moment where Musiala absolutely destroyed Jordi Alba on the wing, crossed it in, and Füllkrug just didn't have the sharpness or the dynamism of Morata to be able to finish, because it was almost a similar move to how Morata scored. And then moments later, Musiala was put straight through, and he was so tired from that previous run and from running his dick off all game that he just shot really tamely at Unai Simon, and it was parried away. But it was okay, because Füllkrug got played in, basically with Musiala. Musiala looked like he was going to dance around it, and Füllkrug basically pushed him out of the way, like, fuck off, I'm doing this. Delivered the most angry, lashing finish into the left that Unai Simon had no chance with. No fucking around, and it's 1-1, which I mean, Martin Tyler said it on the commentary, and I kind of felt it too. Putting two natural number 9s on changed this game, and I couldn't help but think of Japan in this moment, because Japan don't really have a natural, traditional number 9, and had they, things would have been different against Costa Rica, but I'm not going to continue harping on that. You watch the close of the game, and you knew that Spain were cool to draw, and that, both teams will be pretty happy with the draw. They are relying on Spain beating Japan. Spain even looked like they'd be cool with the loss, because if Spain lost, it would mean that all 4 teams in the group are on 3 points going into the final game. Even a draw would probably see Spain through the next round if all teams were on 3 points, because their goal difference is just too untouched after they smashed Costa Rica 7-0. So that kind of sapped it, and you kind of saw that arrogance in the way that Spain were playing. I didn't like that, and I really, really hope that Japan beat him. What can I say? I'm so hoping that Japan managed to beat him. There was a moment where Germany could have won it. Leroy Sané was played straight through on goal. He was a sub, so he had energy. He came in. I'm literally yelling at the screen, shoot, bro. And for some reason, he's beat the keeper, gone to the left, away from the goal, almost run out, played it back, and Füllkrug shot, but it went out for a corner. So, they could have won it. They didn't. I wasn't going to get all of my predictions right. I'd like to claim credit for saying that Japan would be really good. They beat Germany. That's going to be memorable, and I'd like to hang on to that. I still think Spain aren't as good as everybody thinks they are. The second they come up against the really effective team in the next round, I think they're going to be mucho no bueno, but we will see. There's no way that my prediction can be correct in the correct order, but if Germany beat Costa Rica and Japan beat Spain are out, and it'll be Japan first, Germany second going through, which I'm hoping that happens, because what can I say? I like being right, and I love this Japan team. I think against Spain, like Costa Rica just fucking sat. I think against Spain, who coughed up a lot of counter-attack chances against Germany as well, I think Japan will be in with a much better chance, and these two teams match up a lot better with each other. And I also wouldn't be too sure that Germany will beat Costa Rica, because Germany will struggle against a team that just kind of hangs in there. But here's hoping, guys. Japan all the way. I don't abandon my friends when they're weak. Yeah. Tonight we have 4 cracker games, and it is the final. It is the final, like cluster of games from the second match day of the group stage, which means that we go into kind of neck and neck situations where all the games are going to be at 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. here in Australia. They'll be simultaneous, which means I have to watch one on the TV and one on the phone, which means I'm going to be getting a lot more sleep, but I'm not going to be able to focus on the matches. But it's good because in most cases, there is one clearly more interesting or more stake-worthy match. Having said that, tonight we've got the full gauntlet one more time. We've got Cameroon, Serbia, South Korea, Ghana, Brazil, Switzerland, and then Uruguay versus Portugal in that order. I'm super keen to watch Cameroon, Serbia, because I really need to know if Serbia are as good as I think they are. I've predicted before the tournament this is going to be 4-0 to Serbia, and I'm sticking right by it. 4-0 to Serbia. By the end of tonight, we will know definitively that Brazil are head and shoulders above every single other team in this tournament, because not only are they going to fuck Switzerland, but Serbia are going to fuck Cameroon, and the degree to which it is impressive that Serbia held on against Brazil is going to be it's going to be clear, and we're going to be thoroughly impressed with that display that Serbia put in. So 4-0 to Serbia against Cameroon, who unfortunately are not going to be able to be saved by the voluptuous Brian Mbeumo. South Korea, Ghana will be a really interesting game, I think. It'll be fun. I don't know who's going to win, because South Korea didn't really show who they are when they played against Uruguay, and Ghana only started playing after they went 1-0 down. I can see a 0-0 draw, or I can see a 4-4 draw here, and no in between. I can see a really high-scoring match. To be honest, I think I'm leaning more towards that, because both teams know that 3 points here are crucial if they want to have any hope of progressing. This could be a really, really good match, a sleeper hit, and I've now talked myself into looking forward to this. Then we have Brazil, Switzerland. As I mentioned, this will be a real test of the mettle of Brazil and just how fucking annoying Switzerland are, because they're always so fucking annoying to play against. But I think Brazil, without Neymar especially, will be extra motivated to get a good result here. I hope he plays Bruno Guimaraes. I love Bruno Guimaraes. And I hope they play him, because he's magical. I doubt that he'll be the like-for-like replacement for Neymar, but we'll see. And that'll be interesting. And then finally, we have what is on paper a really interesting game, but will probably be kind of drab in execution. It is Portugal, Uruguay. Uruguay are not good, and Portugal are very good, but have one glaring weakness in that when they play their captain, their talisman, their supposed best player, they are not as good as when they don't play him. I imagine he's going to do the same thing. He's going to probably play the same exact lineup as he did against Fernando Santos. He's going to play the same lineup as he did against Ghana, and then he will just have Rafael Leao in reserve and the rest of their ridiculous abundance of midfielders and attackers, like João Felix. João Felix started. Players like that in reserve to just chuck on if things aren't going their way, and Uruguay will be relying on the crypt keeper community of Luis Suarez, who isn't even like tough and like a shithead anymore. He's just an old guy who can't do anything. He's not going to be troubling Ruben Diaz. If I were not Oscar Tavares, that's what I'm calling Uruguay's coach, he's just not Oscar Tavares. I'm not going to learn his name. I don't care, because he's not Oscar Tavares. I would start Cavani instead. I would get Cavani to really just, Cavani is still tough as nails. He'll still physically challenge any defense. I'd get him to come on and just really batter Ruben Diaz, and I would assume it's going to be Danilo Pereira that plays next to him again. Him and Darwin Nunez should just elbows and fucking shoulders and forearms against Ruben Diaz, wear them down, and then hope that Suarez can come on super sub and do some damage. That's it for today. Appreciate you guys being with me. Tell your friends, tell your buddies, tell your mum. Your mum might like it. If I put a video up and you hate it, leave a comment. It's fine. I don't want to go. There's an Instagram comment where some fucking dumb wog that I don't even know, who's friends with the guys who dress me, false line threads. Make sure you get yourself some false line threads, which I'll be wearing again on the podcast very soon. He went at me on Instagram. That's friends and family, bro. What do you mean going at me on Instagram? Grow up. This guy's got a wife and kids, and he wrote as angry a comment as I can conjure in my head on my video on Instagram, when Save it for TikTok, bro. This guy clearly did not evolve beyond when we were 16 on Facebook. Like, you a fucking dumbass, man. Why'd you post this shit? So he's still doing this, but then I stalked him very, very heavily. And he's got a wife and 2 daughters, man. Like, why are you so angry? Just like the stranger on the internet made a video that you didn't like. You can just go and do something else. Just go and raise your daughters, bro. Raise your daughters. Don't worry about me. Understand subtext. Don't worry about me. Go and raise your daughters. And that's the takeaway that I want to leave you lovely people with today. Don't leave angry comments on the internet. Raise your daughters. This has been Mr. Sitter. Ciao.